Walt Disney, a man of many talents, a cartoonist and animator, filmmaker, businessman, theme park pioneer, and cultural icon. However, this success did not come easy. Disney constantly faced dilemmas and difficult decisions. Failure was never distant. Considering all the conflict that he faced, how was Disney able to build his empire? By analyzing his market and having confidence in his originality, Disney refused to compromise his artistic integrity in times of financial conflict, shaping him into an iconic entrepreneur. Disney decided to take his childhood hobby and turn it into a career. His first job was as an artist at the Pesman Rubin Art Studio in 1919. As he continued to build his career, he began experimenting with the camera and hand-drawn animation, which was a fairly new concept. The first animation studio, established by Raoul Barra and John Randolph Bray in 1915, created 2-minute films. But Walt could never fully articulate why he was attracted to animation. He knew he wanted to create worlds of his own. Disney premiered his first cartoons, known as Laugh-O-Grams, at a local Kansas theater, and later distributed his Alice in Cartoonland shorts after establishing his independent studio, Disney Brothers. Walt was then contracted by Universal to create a new character, named Oswald the Lucky Rabbit. Despite its initial popularity, Universal was unsatisfied with the character. They believed he needed to be young and snappy-looking with a monocle, instead of the way Disney drew him. They didn't care about a story, just about how much the character could make the audience laugh. Walt defended his characters, stating, "I want the characters to be somebody. I don't want them just to be a drawing." Disney took pride in his characters, not allowing anyone or anything to compromise his vision. Unexpectedly, Disney was then double-crossed by his distributor and lost the rights to Oswald. Not only did he lose money, but he lost a beloved character. He lost his art. Walt was devastated, and he had to start over. But this time, he was determined to have complete creative freedom. Despite the initial fear of beginning again, it did not take long for Disney to reinvent his studio. In 1928, he created a new character, Mickey Mouse, who's to become the star of his upcoming animated shorts. As he worked independently, the release of the first sound-accompanied film, The Jazz Singer, in 1927, caused Disney to realize that he needed to incorporate sound into his animation to make it not only more realistic, but also to increase profit due to originality. Due to the financial strains of adding sound, he scraped together the money he had left and even refinanced his family's mortgage to pay for his symphony. After creating 4 Mickey Mouse sound cartoons, no company would distribute them. Walt was losing hope, until an old friend, Harry Reichenbach, the manager of the Colony Theater on Broadway, decided to premiere his cartoons at his theater, stating that distributors never knew if a film was good until they heard the public and press response. In 1928, Steamboat Willie debuted at the Colony Theater. The audience's reaction was overwhelming. Laughter filled the theater. According to Variety magazine, Willie was not the first animated cartoon to be synchronized with sound effects, but the first to attract favorable attention. Disney did not allow financial boundaries to restrict his creativity and innovation. Without this persistence, Willie would not have been such a hit. Disney intimidated his competitors. They recognized that Willie had run a revolution in their art. Whatever he did, whether it was sound, color, or his likable characters, other companies such as Universal and MGM attempted to imitate with little success. Their budgets were tightly controlled, while Disney had complete freedom to execute his vision. Because Disney focused on the emotional aspects of animation rather than just the comedic, he stayed ahead of his competition. Even with the success of these shorts, Walt was not satisfied. Shorts were less than 10 minutes long, and there was only so much that could be seen for that amount of time.
Walt became more creative and innovative because he needed to. He knew he wouldn't, staying the way he was in black and white and not going to color or going into features and not just staying with shorts, he knew that that was eventually going to create a situation where the studio wouldn't survive.
He believed that in order to expand his studio, he had to go beyond these shorts. Disney not only wanted to produce more profits, but he also wanted the aesthetic challenge. Once again, he decided to do what has never been done before. In 1934, Disney gathered his animators and proposed making a full-length, full-color musical animated feature film based on the Grimm's fairy tale Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs. At the time, critics described this film as Disney's folly because they doubted that anyone would want to sit through an hour of animation. Throughout the making of this film, Disney refused to compromise the quality of any aspect regardless of how many resources it required. He needed everything to be exactly as how he envisioned. "If we lose the detail, we lose it all," Disney said. Disney wanted texture, depth, and realism in his animation. Adding details such as these did not come at a low cost. To create rich backgrounds, Disney needed a multiplane camera, which he had constructed in the studio.
It is the blueprint of a piece of equipment designed to make cartoons more realistic and enjoyable.
The camera layered animation a certain distance apart to create the illusion of depth and three-dimensionality. He also hired actors and dancers so that animators could study their movement. Disney's current animators were unable to handle such meticulous work. Not only did he reteach techniques to many of his animators, his studio spent $15,000 placing ads in New York papers to find more talented animators. This constant lack of satisfaction in resources or labor caused Disney to take financial risks. As the film went further into production, the budget continued to increase. The production was budgeted between $150,000 to $250,000, but came at the cost of over $1.7 million, 6 times over budget. Despite being amidst the Great Depression, Disney still did not hesitate to spend money if it meant increasing quality. Although many industries were suffering during these times, entertainment flourished due to the escape it provided to the thousands undergoing economic hardship. Families would scrape up whatever they had to pay for a movie ticket, which costed about 25 cents. Regardless, obtaining loans was extremely difficult. If his idea was not a success, recovery from debt would be near to impossible. Nevertheless, Disney persisted, stating, "I can't be strapped down by a limited budget." Due to his passion and confidence in the success of this financial risk, Disney did not let money restrict him and pursued his vision despite negative feedback. However, just the preview of the film convinced bankers to give Disney loans because they believed that it would make a hatful of money. According to Disney expert and author Jim Corkis, Walt told his staff to never worry about money because if you gave the public the best you can give them, the public would pay you back. Snow White premiered on December 21, 1937, and Walt was anxious. Disney's career was riding on the success of that night. As the film was playing, all the imagining, scrutinizing, retelling, fiddling, mobilizing, and pushing from the huge debt of over $1 million that the studio had incurred in the process quickly dissipated. According to legendary animator Ward Kimball, these were cartoons, just drawings, but they gave definite emotion and were real for the audience. The theater laughed with the dwarves, was spiteful of the queen,
and I have been tricked,
and cried as Snow White laid on her bier. Disney was able to move people through animation. After 4 years of experimenting and learning new techniques to improve this film, all of his risks paid off. With an exceeded budget of $1.5 million, Snow White grossed $19,000 on the first week, and after 10 weeks grossed $180,000 at Carthay Circle Theater and earned $8 million worldwide. This was one of the largest risks in Disney's career, but also one of his largest financial successes. His willingness to take that risk proves his confidence that high risk would yield high reward. What seemed to be recklessness to everyone surrounding Disney was strategy and confidence. He had achieved extraordinary business success by not compromising his artistic ambition, but expanding them. He did not settle on any aspect of the film. From the music, to the voice actors, to the movement of the art. Despite the painstaking processes of incorporating such detail, he knew its realism and authenticity would captivate the audience regardless of age. Everybody in the world was once a child, so in planning a new picture, we don't think of grown-ups or children, but just of that kind, clean, unspoiled spot down deep in every one of us that the world has maybe made us forget and that maybe our pictures can help recall. Snow White was the beginning of a whole new world in entertainment, film, and business. This film set such a positive precedent for his career that people across the world knew of the name Walt Disney. From there, he did not stop. He was a visionary who broke all restraints. Throughout his life, he believed that perfectionism was worth the risk, from bringing sound to animation to creating the first animated feature film and even building Disneyland. Walt refused to let finances hold him back. Always staying true to himself, he was an artist before a businessman. Disney's courage, persistence, and confidence in his originality is the reason why his company continues to flourish today.